Okay. Let me know. I think I was just talking away. Oh yeah, now I'm live. Oh, technical. Well, I'm doing this all by myself. So bear with me. Technical, getting used to this thing. This is the first time that I've done this. So please let me know if you're hearing me now. Okay. Roger says, we see you. Yay. I was just talking like the last 5 minutes and didn't realize that I hadn't pushed the go live button. So, all right. Well, welcome. I'm so happy that you've all joined me, and I'm just really grateful to be able to do this. This has been a long time coming, really just a lifetime of not quite knowing what to do with my talent. And through some deep work I've been doing with Rachel Jane Groover and Dada Groover of some work called Art of Feminine Presence and Awakened Speaker Training. I just, some hidden desires really came to light, and I feel like I was really guided. Oh, give me just one second. I need to turn another. Okay, technical issues. Like I said, this is my first time, and I'm doing this setup all by myself. I don't have anybody to assist me, so bear with me. At any rate, oh, can't hear you. Some people are saying they can't hear me. Let me know if you can hear me now. I could also turn on my piano microphone. All right, is that any better in the chat? I don't know if there's going to be an echo because I'm using the piano microphone at the same time. Okay, Kira says I can hear you. Donna is having a hard time hearing. Sounds good to me. Some people hear just fine. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna speak up a little bit. So what I really wanted you to know is just my intention with this. My intention is to share my heart and to bring some joy into your day. So I think I'll just get going. Oh, I do want to announce that I am going to go ahead, because this is my first time. It might be a little bit, kinky, working out the technical kinks, but I'm going to just offer this performance again in 3 weeks. So any of you that are here and have bought a ticket, you will also get access to that live performance in another 3 weeks. And I'm not sure exactly which day that will be. Look into that. But I just want to do this again. And this is kind of a practice run. So bear with me. We'll see how this goes. A word or two about the piano. Yes, this piano. Oh, and I have someone joining me as well. So yeah, I'll talk about the piano a little bit. This piano is a Shigeru Kawai. It is a $73,000 actually concert grand piano. So it's really beautiful quality, and it really does make a difference in the sound. So I hope you will appreciate that. And I am joined. I brought my piano teacher with me. This is a picture of me with Eloise Ristad. See if that, there we go. So Eloise was my teacher from the age of 4, 5. Yeah, I guess I was 4 when I first went to one of her music classes in the summer. And I had been bugging my dad since I was about 3 years old to really teach me something real on the piano. I was real serious. I didn't want to mess around. And so he taught me. I don't know why I was bugging my dad. He wasn't a pianist, but he's a jazz trumpet player and classical trumpet as well. Both my parents played in the orchestra. But at any rate, he taught me the jazz tune, Sonny. And so it went from there, and my parents found me Eloise Ristad and started with her music classes, her creative music classes in the summer. And she is just a wonderful, creative, amazing person and teacher. And so yeah, started off doing lots of rhythm, and we did group improvisation, and that's actually what turned me on, or I feel like that background really helped me. Some of you may know that I've spent the last 25 years doing African drumming. And so I feel like that helped me in that world, is really, doing this group improv and becoming sensitive to the dynamics of a group. When the energy, sensing the energy, and when things were going to heat up and when things were calming down, and how to play with people together. The African music is very intricate that way. If you are off this much, in the rhythm, it just, the whole thing can fall apart. So that was really good. And I was just kind of a rhythm fanatic from the beginning. So, all right, I think, so I'm gonna start off with, you could see, I've written, I'm not sure if you can see it in the description here on the live stream, but I've written the program there, and it's also in the downloads section where you found the link for your ticket. You can also find a download in there that shows the program. So I'm starting off with the Chopin Waltz in C-sharp minor. It's Opus 64, number 2. And the waltz has its origins in the 1700s. And did you know that when it was created, it was really considered scandalous? So that's kind of interesting, and times have certainly changed. So by Chopin's era in the 1800s, it was considered its own genre. So this piece is really one of my favorites, and it was the first Chopin that I ever learned. I think I learned it when I was 8 years old. I think that was the first competition that I did when I was 8. And it's also just one of Chopin's most well-known works. All right, Heather's on, Kiki's on. Welcome, everybody. next up. All right, let me know if the sound on that was okay. Let me know in the chat. I hope I'm seeing current chats. Okay, so next up is a Chopin Impromptu. And I really like this quote from the Chopin project. You can find that thechopinproject.com. And let's see. By its very title, the impromptu is supposed to mean just that. A perky, playful little ditty that Fryderyk would dash off at the keyboard without a lot of forethought or consideration. But the reality is, of course, anything but that. Chopin's impromptus are eternally popular and devilishly difficult to pull off. So, yeah, the impromptu, yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. It's fun. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the impromptu and go straight into the Bach, and go ahead with the Nocturne, and then I'll tell you a little bit more after that. So happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I forgot to say that. Oh, let me check. Give me 1 second, sorry. All right, trouble in the tech world. I'm trying to do another recording over there and it was flashing at me, so. Okay, so here we go with Chopin Impromptu, and then a Bach Prelude and Fugue, and then Chopin Nocturne. All right, getting my microphone set up here. So that particular piece, I wanted to tell you a little bit about, especially that one. You all should look up Natalia Karp on YouTube. You can hear some of her story. She was a Holocaust survivor, and so this last nocturne, it actually saved several people's lives in the Holocaust. This particular, in this case with Natalia Karp, she, on his birthday, the commander of the concentration camp where she was being held ordered her to play for him, and she played this nocturne, and he was so impressed that he spared her life, not only her life but her sister's life as well. And this piece was also played by Holocaust survivor Władysław Szpilman, who was a well-known Polish pianist on the Polish radio. And he actually was playing, I believe he played this piece during the last broadcast on the Polish radio on September 23rd, 1939, when Warsaw was besieged by the German army. And later he ended up playing this piece for, again, a German officer who had discovered him hiding out. And that whole story is depicted in the movie The Pianist. And let's see, the German officer was Hosenfeld. And he ended up helping Spielmann to hide and giving him food in the last months of the war. So that version, that was a little bit rough for me right there. I don't know why. I played that piece quite a long time, but I'm just coming back into performing after 30 years, really not, like I said, not knowing what to do with my talent, and so I now have been inspired. I'm getting a hybrid piano pretty soon. I'm going to be hopefully taking it on the road and doing some outdoor performances, and I have founded a project called Feel and Heal Under the Piano. And so I love to have people come and lay under the piano, and again, it's just that bathing your mind, your body, your soul in these beautiful vibrations. It's very healing, and I've heard from a lot of people that that many of us grew up laying underneath our pianos with our mothers or fathers practicing. So it's kind of also just something that takes you back to childhood. If you were lucky enough. My brain loves this, Donna says. That's great. Jamie, thank you. So beautiful. Thank you, Roger. All right, just looking at some of the comments here. Okay. The Chopin Barcarolle is what I'm going to tackle next. This is often considered one of Chopin's most demanding compositions, and the Barcarolle was one of his last major compositions, along with the Polonaise Fantasy, 1845 to 46. And so Chopin was very ill during this time. He had contracted TB, and he was really ill with TB for about 10 years of his life. There's a famous pianist, Olga Sheps. I really like her playing. She's a really nice person too. She actually has a live stream on Twitch, and so I get to tune into her every once in a while. And she says that this, because he was so ill at this stage of his life, this was likely a dream. And the Barcarolle is a Venetian boat ride. It's a gondola ride. I don't know what is going on with my other camera. It doesn't want to record. Give me 1 second again. I'm just going to check this. All right, sorry about that. So I just want to give a shout out to my current teacher and teacher that I've been working with off and on since I guess my first lessons with her were when I was 12. And she's just really helping me so much with bringing my technique back, and she's a wonderful, wonderful pianist and teacher, and she helps me a lot. Chopin was known in his teaching with his students that he just made everything so easy, and that's kind of how she teaches her name is Jo Boatwright. She's also my great aunt. But yeah, she helps me to really find the easiest way so that my hand and my body isn't tight, and just what works best and what lays under the hand most easily. So she's helping me a lot, and I have still a long way to go, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. See, we'd love to see the full piano. Oh, you want to see the full piano? I believe it's not quite a 9 foot. I think it might be just a 7 foot. I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like maybe a 7-footer. At any rate, okay, here's my attempt at the Chopin Barcarolle. See, I knocked this off a little bit. Okay, that's better. Sorry about little roughness there. That's what happens when you're coming back to perform after 30 years of not performing. It's getting there. It's all the dangers of performing memorized music, I guess. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that anyway. Let's see here. When will you attempt the Polonaise? Or piano version of Rhapsody in Blue. Yeah, I love that. Thanks for the claps. All right. I think I'm just gonna, I was gonna take a little break, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. All right, so Yuzha Wang is one of my favorite classical concert pianists. And she said of Chopin, how can a human be so profound and move so many people? And so for as long as I can remember, Chopin has been my favorite composer to play. And I like to think that there's some significance to the fact that I was born, my birthday is the same as the day that he died, so October 17th. But I'm not alone in thinking that I have something in common with Chopin or some sort of connection. And I believe that Chopin's compositions, they really invoke a musical journey. For instance, the Barcarolle, in the beginning, you can imagine the Venetian boat ride. You know, they have to push off. They have to come back and come out into the canal. So that's what the beginning of this piece is representing. This, you know, really just push off. And it's kind of a little rough. And then here you are floating. You're getting ready to go. So it really takes you on a journey, and many of his pieces are kind of illustrating stories. So, and also because of Chopin's life, he grew up in Poland and really enjoyed a cultural renaissance during his childhood. So he had a very joyful childhood. And then when he was 20, he went off for an educational journey and went to study in Vienna. And a couple of weeks after he left, the Revolutionary War happened in Poland. And so then he was never able to go back to his home and his parents, and so that was pretty traumatic. And he ended up going to Paris and spending most of his adult life there. He had a very short life. I'll tell you more about that later. But what was I going to say about that? Yeah, I just feel like that homesickness, and you know, that's a pretty hard thing to deal with, and that comes through in his music. And I think just he's really a composer of feelings. He really expresses lots of feelings through his music, and you know, joy and passion and inspiration, pain and heartbreak, and of course the homesickness kind of feeling. And so through that music, this music then awakens those feelings within ourselves, and brings back those moments in our lives where we felt those things. And so, and to feel those is very healing. So I just feel like this music is very healing. But that's really the genius of his music and why he's loved by so many. Okay, so I'm going to play this Etude Opus 10 number 3. And the etudes are studies. Oh, Donna's clapping. Thank you, Donna. The etudes are studies, and really Chopin's etudes were some of the first to become concert repertoire, because really they're designed to help you build your technique. So they're not usually, nice to listen to. But Chopin's etudes were the first really to become among the concert repertoire. And this particular melody, Chopin himself believed to be the most beautiful that he had ever written. So this is a Chopin Etude, Opus 10 number 3, and it's a study in bringing out the melody in one finger, or the upper part of the right hand. once you hear this etude, it feels familiar for the rest of your life. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of under the piano, my daughters used to love to lay under the piano, particularly for that piece. I used to play that piece a lot when it was bedtime. So they. Oh, now Donna, now I know what an etude is. Good. All right. So I've got one more piece for you. I have no idea what time it is. I've probably been rambling on and on. So this piece, the Chopin Ballade, this is the first ballade, and it's really been a dream of mine to learn to play all of the ballades. That's what I've always wanted since I was younger. I always thought, oh, that would be the ultimate, to do a concert where I play all of the ballades. I just love the ballades. They're so beautiful, so expressive, and so this is, maybe that'll be my next project. I hope to one day accomplish that dream. So Robert Schumann wrote a letter to Chopin, and he says, he didn't write to Chopin, who did he write to? Oh, just a friend of his. So he writes to this friend, he says, I have received from Chopin a ballade. It seems to me to be the work closest to his genius, though not the most brilliant. I'm not quite sure what that means. I told him that of everything he has created thus far, it appeals to my heart the most. And I guess Chopin was listening to this, and he says, after a lengthy silence, I am glad because I too like it the best. It is my dearest work. So he also loved the ballade. This ballade was written the same year that Chopin met Georges Sand, who he had a 10-year relationship with. And if you don't know who Georges Sand is, please look her up on the internet. I think these days she might go by the pronouns they, them, their. But back then, she was a very eccentric person, and of course she was an author, and so took the first name George for her writing. But they had about a 10-year relationship. And in November 1848 was Chopin's last public performance at a grand Polish ball in London's Guildhall. And he was quite ill at the time, and the performance appeared not to attract very much attention. And just a year later, on October 15th, 1849, Chopin's lifelong friend Delfina Potocka sang to Chopin as he lay dying in his bed. And Chopin was a lover of opera and singers. He was just enamored with opera and singing, and this is what he tries to replicate in his beautiful singing melodies on the piano. As he spent really his childhood, he grew up around opera, and he dedicated many of his pieces to opera singers. So he was friends with many of the best opera singers. So this was a lifelong friend, Delfina Potocka. And so he died around 2 a.m., October 17th, 1849, at just 39 years old. This piece, I'm not sure when I first learned it. Maybe I learned it when I was around 12 or 14, and then I brought it back. I remember bringing it back for a, excuse me. I brought it back for performance with my with my teacher when I was 16. I remember that. And anyway, yeah, I brought it back a few times. I brought it to audition when I got into college. Maybe 16 was actually when I first learned it. I'm not quite sure. But at any rate, I played it to audition to get into the music school at CU. And I was given a scholarship, and apparently, I didn't know this, but my stepmom and dad told me this afterwards, that they had already reached their cap. The music school had reached their cap, but they made an exception. They actually had to pay a fee to let me in, I guess. So they wanted me to come study, and this was the piece that I played for my audition. So it's something close to my heart. microphone back here. Well, thank you so much for indulging me. Thank you for this kind of practice run, and sorry for some of the memory slips, you know, kind of a mind game where my mind just comes in and says, do you really know what you're doing? So building back that confidence. My brain is happy. Yay, I'm so happy. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Donna, thank you. Phew, yeah. Bravo, thank you. All right, so I guess that's all I've got for you. So if you'd like to join me tomorrow to have a little face-to-face where we can actually talk back and forth, I'd love to talk with you. I've set up a Zoom call, and the link is there in the, I'm not sure quite what that looks like because I haven't been on that side myself, but same place that you went to get your ticket, you can, there should be a section for or there's another link that should say for the Zoom talkback. So that's tomorrow at noon, Mountain Standard Time. And yeah, I look forward to meeting up with you there. All right, everyone have a lovely evening. Thank you, Mom. I love you too. Thanks, everyone. Good night.